the judging criteria itself. It's actually very intuitive, so what you would expect we're looking for is what we're looking for. So the quality of the idea, the potential of the business itself, the feasibility, and then also, if you get through to the final round, then you'll also be judged on the persuasiveness of your oral presentation. So a little bit about the prizes and rewards. If you don't understand the things about semi-finalists and finalists, that'll all become more clear later. But just a quick run through. For the semi-finalists, you get the opportunity for professional training in an executive summary given by Russell Smith, who's the CEO of Business Boffins. And then there'll be a talk from one of our sponsors, Henman's LLP, about the legal considerations when starting a new venture. And then lastly, we've got together a group of MBA consultants who are all at the business school. And they'll sit down with the groups and help you to kind of hone and perfect the message that you're trying to convey in your executive summary. So hopefully when that's over, you'll go away with the bare bones of an executive summary already prepared. And then there'll be about a week where, and then you'll have to submit that executive summary to the judges. And from that, we'll choose a shortlist of about 8 groups, and they'll go through to the final. But before the actual final itself, we have a second phase of training, where you get together with Plassi and Rob for a professional one-on-one pitch training, which will help to improve the actual pitch itself to give you more chances of winning the investment. And then also you get free coverage on something called seemypitch.com, and if you haven't heard of it, you should really check it out. It's a really, really valuable tool. It's a great way to get exposure to investors, so if you don't actually get the money in the final, you can still put your stuff on See My Pitch, and angels and VC will be looking at that. And then lastly, there's also the VIP dinner that we have afterwards, which is for the finalists, the judges, the committee. So that'll be really fun. And then the big prize that everyone's all keen to win. There's up to £10,000. We've tried to make the whole process as easy as possible. So these are the things that you're going to have to do to make your entry. Firstly, we need the names and email addresses of 2 of your team members, and then the name of your venture, obviously. But the questions is what matters. So the first one is the most important, I think, and it's just what's your idea and what's the opportunity. So this is your chance to really shine and really get into the gritty details about how great your idea is and how it's going to change the world. And then the next 2 things, what is the market or market potential, and who are your competitors and how do you compare? We don't want that to scare people off, because we realise that not everyone is doing a business degree, not everyone has run a business before. So don't think that we expect some amazing in-depth analysis in that. All we want to know is that you've considered how feasible your idea really is, and whether or not there's a market, who you might sell it to, and whether or not you're the only person in the market, and if not, then why do you fare better than the rest? So that's it. Okay, to explain the actual program phases themselves, we're here tonight in week 1 at the info session, so I don't need to go through that. On the 1st of February is the deadline for applications, so if you've got your idea and you're keen on the competition, you should get in there as soon as possible, because it's about 10 days until that closes. From that, a panel from the committee on Oxford Entrepreneurs, who all have experience in business and all know what to look for in a feasible venture, will choose a short list of 30 groups. We'll go through to the first phase training that I talked about earlier on. And then from that, the executive summary will be, the deadline is on the 14th of February. And those 8 people who send that in, their application will be sent off to our sponsors, and the sponsors will then decide the finalists. And then the final itself, the final competition itself, the way it'll work is that each group will have 2 minutes to pitch their ideas to a group of celebrity judges, and then there'll be time for questions and answers between the judges and the teams themselves, and each team will get to do their 2-minute, we call it an elevator pitch. And then we'll break, there'll be a startup fair, so the teams themselves will be able to showcase their business ideas, and there'll also be, some of you may have actually been involved in the Ideas to Market program, and the businesses that have come through that as well will be able to showcase, so you'll be able to see loads of cool stuff that's been going on with Oxford Entrepreneurs. And then lastly, there's the dinner, which is going to be really fun. We all just go out, have a nice meal, you get to meet the judges, meet the committee, meet all the other finalists. And in case anyone doesn't know already, the judges are Julie Mayer, who was the founder of Ariadne Capital and First Tuesday, and voted Europe's most influential woman quite recently. And Will Garley, the marketing director of Cobra Beer, the guy who brought Cobra Beer to the mainstream, and Sebastian Grigg, the head of investment banking at Credit Suisse, who's a very influential man. So I'd like to pass you on now to a little talk from each of last year's winners.